Hello, my very good morning, beautiful Lagos City and beyond. Welcome to the Spotlight. My name is Kiza K. Happy to be back again on your TV screen to talk about sports, and I'm happy I'm here again. The reasons are because I happen to be celebrating my birthday today. Happy birthday to me. Yes, happy birthday to me as well. I mean, you can actually get to join me if you mind. So quickly, let's talk about the Super Falcons starting of the show, where Super Falcons defender Ashley Plumpton has been included in the best 11 of the round of 16 at the 23 FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. Plumpton was a standout performance in Nigeria 4-2 penalty defeat to the three Lionesses of England. Now, Plumpton was named Player of the Match by WhoScored.com and also was given a rating of 8.55 by Statistics website. She won a massive 11 aerial duels, made 3 tackles, completed 3 dribbles, and also hit the woodwork once. The best 11 comprises of Plumpton, Cecilia Misovic, Sweden, Ellie Carpenter, Australia, Jay Carter of England, Alex Greenwood of England, Aitana Bamati of Spain, Andri Sullivan of USA, Eugenie Lesoma of France, Kenza Dali of France, and Kadiratu Diani of France as well, and Sama Perilolo of Spain. Plumpton made her official debut for Nigeria on February 22 in the 2-0 win over Ivory Coast. She made 4 appearances at the 23 FIFA Women's World Cup. The Super Falcons have been at all editions of the FIFA Women's World Cup. Congratulations to the Super Falcons, regardless of not getting to where we want them to be. But they did well against the other side. Talk about those ladies. Talk about the Lionesses of England. Now, moving on to the next story. Samuel Chukwueze says he joined Serie A giant AC Milan to win trophies. Chukwueze joined, the Rossoneri from La Liga club Villarreal in the deal worth around 28 million euro last month. The 24-year-old started training with his new teammates this week and made his unofficial debut in the friendly against Monza on Tuesday night. I can't wait to get started. I think we have the team to beat anyone in Serie A. So meeting Inter, Juventus for sure. We can beat them. He was quoted by Football Italia. I didn't come to watch or earn money. I'm here to win trophies. My work is to play football and write my name in the history of AC Milan so that people will remember me in the future. I want to make a name for myself and also for AC Milan. I can't come here not to win. My first priority is to win something: Scudetto, Champions League, Coppa Italia. Napoli also, Simeone was another key figure in convincing his fellow Nigerian international Chukwueze to make a switch to Italy. He's my best friend. We played together from under 17 to the Super Eagles, so we started together. I asked him for advice about the Serie A, and he said Milan's a big club, a fantastic club, and I'm gonna kill it in Serie A. The most important thing, he said, was to talk to the coach and make sure he really wants you. So purely, Stefano is very supportive. Added Samuel Chukwueze. He joked that Napoli should sign him, but I want to go to AC Milan, and it will be a great time again where we'll play each other. Talking about this man. His name is Samuel Chukwueze, former player for Villarreal. Some people might be like, his money is not big enough. He has said it all. I did not make the move to make money alone. I've come here to help the club. I've come here to fight for a shirt. I've come here to prove to the world that yes, I'm Samuel Chukwueze. He is the African best player in the La Liga last season. So coming to a club where we've got different wingers, they've got a great team. The midfield is looking very compacted as well. Also, Chick Ruben will be there. Ishmael Benassa also. Tonali has left the club. So on the other side, they've got the wingers who are very much dangerous. The likes of Junior Messias, the likes of, Rafael Leao, now Samuel Chukwueze, also Christian Pulisic, the American captain, they like to call him. Now, moving on away from that story, let's talk about tennis. Now, on the world of tennis, French veteran Gael Monfils turned 4th seed Stefanos Tsitsipas at the ATP Toronto Masters on Wednesday, winning a straight set just to advance to that very last 16. Now, the 36-year-old from Paris, currently ranked 276 in the world, powered past Tsitsipas 6-4, 6-3 in just under 90 minutes. The win marks the first time Monfils has beaten a player in the top 10 since March 2022 and came against an informed Tsitsipas fresh from winning the ATP Los Cabos title in Mexico last weekend. Monfils also, who reached the Washington 3rd round last week, overcame 29 unforced errors to advance. It took time. It took too much points for Monfils to get the job done, with a shot-making duels on the first winning chance, ending Stefanos Tsitsipas' favor before the French veteran closed out victory moments later. Elsewhere, Wednesday, Daniil Medvedev advanced to the 3rd round with 6-2, 7-5 win over Matteo Arnaldini. Medvedev also said he needed to make more of an effort in the second set in the steamy summer condition against Arnaldi. He struck 26 winners and 8 unforced errors. Medvedev improved to 8-1 in Toronto with his victory. He's 47 this season. And also 6th seed Andrew Rublev stumbled in his first hard-court match of the summer, losing 6-4, 6-3 to American Mackenzie McDonald. Canadian Milos Raonic, returning to the tour after 2 years of injuries, continued to advance as he beat Japan Taro Daniel 6-4, 6-3. And that is what it is in the world of tennis. Come with me. Let's jump on to the next story. Talk about boxing. Anthony Joshua is clear. Boxing faces a doping problem, but the former world heavyweight champion is uncertain whether longer bans are ideal solution. Now, Anthony Joshua was due to fight Dillian Whyte for the second time in London O2 Arena on Saturday, but that bout was scrapped after his British rival produced adversary analytical findings, according to a doping test conducted by Voluntary Anti-Doping Violation Association (VADA). As a result, Joshua will now face Finland's Robert Helenius this weekend after the 39-year-old was called up on last-minute replacement. Whyte's case, however, is far from an isolated incident, with the British duo of Amir Khan and Conor Benn both failing drug tests in the last 18 months. Although Benn's suspension has been lifted, pending an appeal by UK anti-doping, he is now among a long list of boxers to have failed dope tests, including current WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. This is a doping problem in the sport, definitely, Joshua said on Wednesday. The 33-year-old added, boxing is not an institution where you join a club and everything is presented to you. These guys go to local gyms and they are around people who might be doing dodgy stuff. Whyte served a 2-year doping ban in 2012 and yet still accused Joshua of being the Lance Armstrong of boxing back in 2019 in a reference to the disgraced Tour de France cyclist. This dope overtain, I think, drugs. What about drugs? I mean, what about drugs? We have our own lady who's also facing a doping test as well. You know, talk about Toby Amosan. And now we talk about boxing. Anthony Joshua is being furious why this is really coming to play. It just doesn't sound cool to know that some people do this with drugs. I mean, not physical power now, not about the natural one or being given by God. It's about them going the other way or possibly elsewhere to get more power or more strength. You take drugs just to get yourself back on the game, and that doesn't feel appropriate for me. But away from the world of boxing, you know, we've talked about football, we've dived into that tennis world. Let's now go to golf. John Ram in the news. John Ram is Spanish international. Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy have separated themselves as the PGA Tour Big Three this season, with 8 tournament victories among them. John Ram, #1 in the FedEx Cup points standing. Scheffler is playing as consistently as anyone else since Tiger Woods. Now, but Rory McIlroy is so far the only one of these Big Three who won the FedEx Cup, 3 of them to be precise, with the 22-23 regular season with the books. Now the FedEx Cup playoff will begin on Thursday at the FedEx St. Jude Championship at the TPC Soundwind in Memphis, Tennessee. Is just 70 players qualified for the first leg of the 3-week playoff, down from 125 in prior this year. Now the top 15 the points standing after the St. Jude equally qualify not only for the next week's BMW Championship, but also the tour's new signature event in 2024. Match Holzman and Wade and Clark round up the top 5 in the points standing out, but the playoff might be a 3-horse race. Ram hasn't won since slipping on his first green jacket, back in April at the Masters, and we have to wait to know what comes up today. Now, but he tried, and he tied up for second at the Open, Championship, his summertime out. He came closer to the winning FedEx Cup back in 2021, where he finished runner-up to Patrick Cantlay. Obviously, you want to win every time we tee it up, but yeah, the goal is to try to get the East Lake as #1 and enjoy that, that 2-shot lead, Ram said, according to a report. John Ram again in the news, he said a playoff format is okay. He made a difference when I finished the second place, he said. And that's about this man. Talk about the Spanish international, John Ram. But quickly, wrapping up the show, let's go talk about football. Rhys James in the news. His sister is always making wave. I was making wave in the World Cup, FIFA Women's World Cup, and she's been amazing over time. We've seen her great football, her tactical approach in the game, technical lady she is. But she never had a very good game against the Nigerian, Super Falcons. The reason is because Ayinde Halima too was just on her, and Ronaldo Waldom takes that. But away from that story, let's go dive into this one now, where Rhys James has been named the new captain of Chelsea, replaces Cesar Azpilicueta, who has left the London club. Chelsea also made the announcement on Wednesday on their website. A boyhood Blue supporter who joined our academy at 6 years old, Rhys James was the club's standout choice to lead us on and off the pitch this season. The club stated, speaking after being named the new captain, James said, "I am so happy to take on the role and responsibility. I know I've got big shoes to fill because we have had huge captains here in the past, but I'm excited. I have been at Chelsea pretty much my whole life. I started here when I was 6, and to come through the academy is tough, but to go on and become captain, it's a great feeling for me and my family." Head coach Mauricio Pochettino said, "This is a decision taken by me and the club. We are very pleased with James, who will captain the side this season. He leads by example, and his attitude and dedication to Chelsea has been clear throughout the preseason. He's proudly wore the armband during our summer tour and will take up the challenge of leading our squad with his own approach and ideas." James celebrated success throughout his time in the academy twice, winning the FA Youth Cup as part of the under-18s. His second triumph in the competition came as a captain back in 2018. James also was integrated into the Chelsea first team ahead of the 2019-2020 campaign by Frank Lampard. He scored on his debut the long-range finish against Grimsby Town and struck a memorable goal in the Champions League against Ajax Amsterdam. He would go on to make 47 appearances during his second season, helping Chelsea land a second Champions League title. And that's about Reece James. Congratulations to Reece James. I mean, many clubs are really doing some changeover. Virgil van Dijk for Liverpool, now the skipper of the side. Trent Alexander-Arnold is the assistant. Now for Chelsea, Cesar Azpilicueta has left for Atletico Madrid. Now we have to see Reece James. He's a boyhood club. He's been at the club all his life. He joined the club when he was 6, for crying out loud. Give you one reason why he doesn't have to be a captain. One reason why he doesn't have the leadership quality. We've seen him manage to wear that armband in such games, bigger games, and he did really live up to expectations. So it's about Reece James and Chelsea, the new skipper of the side. You might want to call him the captain of the side. Now, still on Chelsea news, Chelsea are under investigation by the Premier League over alleged financial breaches during the Roman Abramovich era. Ownership time, Chelsea new owners Todd Boehly and Lake can't be reportedly irregularities to UEFA and the Premier League after their takeover back in 2022. Now, in July, UEFA fined the club £8.6 million for incomplete financial information, and also while the Premier League are yet to charge Chelsea, an investigation has now been opened. If found guilty of breaching financial rules, the West London club will face a fine or even a point deduction in the league. The charges relate to Roman Abramovich's time in charge of Stamford Bridge, who took over in 2003 and sold up in 2022. The report adds that the Premier League will investigate payments made to secretive offshore companies. It's further reported that the figures run into the millions and were not registered on the club's annual financial reports to the Football Association. Now, Premier League and UEFA, he's really keen on this. There's at least one payment made to a player's family that is also being scrutinized, even though the charges relate to the previous ownership. Chelsea are still liable for any rule breaches, and the investigation could involve the question for Chelsea former chairman Bruce Borg and director Marina Granovskaya, who have since left the club. As a result, they are facing punishment ranging from the fines to point deductions. The Russian billionaire had been sanctioned by the UK government due to his link to Vladimir Putin after Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022. Now, Putin was widely denounced by most countries across the globe under Roman Abramovich ownership. Chelsea won the Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, Champions League, Europa Cup, UEFA Super Cup, FIFA Club World Cup, and that's for Chelsea. We just wait to know if they will be going through that phase. If they go through, fine deduction is poor, not good to know. Clubs that face this know what I'm talking about. And it won't be sounding cool if Chelsea go through this phase. Funny enough, look how it's going. Former chairman Bruce Borg, Marina Granovskaya, all those that have left the club. You know, the investigation is still going on. Trust me, I know what the body that governs the European football, UEFA, would do. I know what Alexander Safrin would want to do. And also, don't forget, it also might just connect to the world that governs, or the body that governs the game generally. Talk about FIFA. Maybe Gianni Infantino might come on this, but right now it's still about the UEFA making investigations. But so far for now, I would say Chelsea looks to be innocent. But if they are found guilty, then maybe point deduction will be taken and maybe possibly fines for the blue side. Now, moving on, let's talk about West Ham United, who have reportedly reached an agreement in principle with Manchester United to sign England defender Harry Maguire after losing out to Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez in playing time and losing his position as club captain to Bruno Fernandes. Harry Maguire has been forcing the downfall future at Chelsea. I beg your pardon, at Manchester United. West Ham have emerged as 30-year-old biggest admirer, despite the fact that his financial terms of the deal have frequently been a source of contention. However, West Ham and Manchester United have now reached an agreement in principle for Harry Maguire. The London-based club are willing to pay around £30 million for the centre-back, even though it would be a sizable loss to Man United initial investment of £80 million. It seems like a reasonable amount given his recent slide in fortune. After all, it represented an upgrade for the £20 million West Ham offered for the Red Devils, initially rebuffed. Now, there are still last few minutes issues to settle around this Maguire's departure from Man United before he can complete the deal. There have been rumors that the defender may request payment from his current employers, considering that he will probably earn less money with West Ham. But once that obstacle is overcome, Maguire wouldn't have too much trouble working out with personal terms with West Ham. His 4-year stay at Old Trafford, which featured 175 games and in all competition, would come to a conclusion. He has previously played for Leicester City, Hull City, Wigan Athletic and Sheffield United, and that's for Harry Maguire. Moving on in Premier League news, Premier League champion Manchester City have launched a bid for West Ham midfielder Lucas Paqueta. This current summer transfer window has said it's open. Having already seen Declan Rice depart from Arsenal this summer, the Hammers might demand a higher fee for Paqueta. West Ham are bidding for James Ward-Prowse as well from Southampton, but they are yet to receive a positive response. According to reports, they have seen their offer to sign Man United pair Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay turned down by manager Erik ten Hag. The Hammers are yet to make a signing in this window, though Mexican defender Edson Alvarez is expected to join the club from Eredivisie outfit Ajax Amsterdam this summer. However, City have taken on to add Paqueta to the squad after Ilkay Gundogan transferred to Barcelona and Riyad Mahrez moved to Saudi Pro League side this summer. Paqueta joined West Ham in the summer of 2022 from French League One side, took about the outfit Lyon, and he signed a 5-year contract with the club. Paqueta got 4 goals and 3 assists in 28 games league matches last season. West Ham were 14th place in the Premier League last season with 40 points after 38 matches. City won the Premier League after tallying 89 points from 38 games in the division. And it's for Manchester City. Now moving on the show, we'll talk about some transfer. French League club champions Paris Saint-Germain are set to offload the trio of Neymar Jr., Marco Verratti and Renato Sanchez this current summer transfer window. PSG also have informed the players that they are not part of the project. Neymar and Verratti took part in the training separate from the rest of the group on Tuesday, August 8th, supposedly due to a virus. However, the new guy for Luis Enrique and director Luis Campos met with the team in private to inform them all of the club decision. Neymar has been linked to Premier League club Chelsea, Man United this summer, while Verratti Marco has been linked to Saudi Pro side. Sanchez also has got an offer from Roma. Now, John Bennett and centre-back Hugo Ekitike have also been put up for sale by the Parisians. The club did not participate in the players did not participate in the club's media tournament day, which is when the photographs are taken for a new season. Now, Lionel Messi has already been transferred from the French League champions to MLS outfit Inter Miami this summer, and Kylian Mbappe could also join Real Madrid, and that's possibly between 24. Neymar scored 13 goals and 11 assists in 20 Premier League games last season. Marco Verratti made 29 appearances, and Sanchez netted twice in 23 games. PSG were crowned league champions as they landed their 11th title triumph in the French League One. And that's just what it is. Talk about some news. And also, I'll give you more transfer news. Don't be surprised we talk more about transfers on the show lately because the transfer window looks very open, and it's time for clubs to really get in players to have squad depth, replace those who have left for Saudi Pro side or from Saudi to the European side to make a better team come for the season. Starts up on a few days to go for the Premier League to come to play, and also the La Liga, Bundesliga, the French League One, all coming in vogue as well with the Premier League. This is the best place to be. Don't go anywhere. Keep staying with us. We've got so much interesting programs coming your way shortly. But for now, it is time for me to go. A very big shout out to everyone keeping it real. Behind the scene, Manfred, yes, I could say La Cuckoo, La Caca, whichever way. I'm so sure you understand. My amiable, our wonderful producer, keeping it real, talk about that man, Thank you so much for what you do for me. James is the name. But for now, my name is Kizzy K. Happy birthday to me again. Love. Peace out.